On this week's weekly video fishing forecast, the biggest bass of the season was caught and released in Montauk. Fluke fishing still real good on the South Shore, and the weather and the tuna keep cooperating. All here at thefisherman.com. The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners. We have a great run of weather. Let's see if it will continue for the weekend. Rich?
All right, thanks, Tim. Hey, anglers, let's check the weekend forecast that we got going on. We've been getting pretty lucky with these weekend forecasts, and I think we're going to do it again this weekend. Looks pretty good. And certainly the water temp's very warm. Lots of 70s, couple of 80s off Sandy Hook, Jersey Shore, into Raritan Bay, and the only cool spots there around Nantucket Shoals out to the east, where it's still in the upper 60s to low 70s. Wave heights, it's pretty good. Light breeze for Saturday most of the day, and generally 2 feet on the ocean, 2 to 4, a little offshore. And then it flattens out again Saturday evening, Saturday night, and then it starts to get a little lumpier later Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. But I think we're going to squeeze in a pretty good weekend in the ocean. If you want to get offshore, do some tuna, do some shark, any kind of offshore stuff looks good. Futurecast, there's Saturday, light and variable breeze from the east-northeast, some clouds offshore, some rain way south, and little breeze starts to pick up onshore Saturday afternoon, as we've seen the past few weekends. A little lumpy Sunday with a southwest breeze, but not too bad. I think we can get it in. Starts to really pick up later Sunday afternoon, about 15 to 20. But I think overall, timing works out. We get a good weekend, so we're getting pretty lucky. Good fishing for the anglers altogether. Enjoy. Be safe. Tim, back to you.
Remember, be sure to check out News 12 for the latest weather before you head out on the water. Let's check in with Senior Editor Fred Golofaro and get all the details on that big bass released in Montauk.
Hey, Tim. Hey, as far as we know, the biggest bass of the season came from Montauk on Sunday. Piece measured 59 inches long, was caught aboard the charter boat Alyssa Ann by Daniela Cassio. Easily bottomed out a 60-pound scale, so I really would like to know what that fish weighed, but we'll never know that. But a very impressive fish nonetheless. Way to go, Daniela. And not all the big bass in Montauk are out in the rips. In fact, Brandon Sausley has been scoring some real quality fish in the surf. In the wee hours of Tuesday morning, he caught and released a 44-pounder. You can see it here. Brandon, by the way, if the name sounds familiar, he penned an article for us in the July issue of the Fisherman titled The End. You can check that out in this month's issue. And then fluke fishing's really improved in Montauk as well, and it's not all out in the boats. Nicole Cook and Joe Pagillo on Saturday, they fished in the entrance to the harbor. They fished that area there, and they had a bunch of fluke, including some nice keepers. They were throwing 3/4 ounce lead heads tipped with gulp. And it is Shark Week, and that point was brought home for Dylan and Heather Calgiri. They had a doubleheader of bass on in Montauk off the point. And Dylan got his back in one piece, Heather did not. And you can see it there in the photo. There's a lot of sharks roaming Long Island waters now, especially along the South Shore. A lot of guys that are chunking for bass and blues in the surf, and guys in the boats running around the bunker schools are finding a lot of sharks, and a lot of them are protected species. They're browns, which are also called sandbars. There's sand tigers and duskies, and these fish are not supposed to be removed from the water. You're supposed to release them immediately, get them right back into the water, and there's a very steep fine for not doing that, so pay attention to that. You can go to dec.newyork.gov and get an update on the regulations, current regulations for sharks. There you can catch freshers, you can catch makos, you just can't target these other protected species. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whether you're targeting them or not, you're going to hook them if you're chunking with bait or if you're shark fishing for other species. So check out the DEC website and you'll be up to date on the regulations. Tim, back to you.
From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean.
Thanks, Tim. Hey, everyone. Fishing off the beach continues to be kind of like what it should be for this time of year. Small stripers right in the wash. Small bucktails are getting those. Sometimes a little bit bigger, maybe the random keeper on clam bellies. Like I keep saying, please use those circle hooks. What I've been doing off the beach, kind of on the hunt for bluefish. There's not a whole lot going on, but A good cast with a cast master or Hopkins is every once in a while there's something out there. So that's kind of what I've been sticking to. Another method to use off the beach is to dig for mole crabs, and then just with either no weight or just even like a 1 ounce weight, put those on a circle hook or a small hook, and the bass, sometimes even the dogfish will go after them. So just something to kind of keep us busy until the fall run starts. Fluke and sea bass, so continues to be pretty good. Hampton's Reef has been really good. A little bit better on sea bass than fluke. Squid strips, gulp, the whole 9 yards. Just with the gulp though, there are a lot of cocktail blues around the reef. So if you're not willing to lose a couple of tails, then go with the spearing and squid strips. Tuna, still some good trips going on. Quambra, it seems to be a little bit south. Seems to be the distance south seems to be increasing from what I hear from different people. Yellowfin in the mix now with bluefin. So there's a lot going on. No excuse not get out there and catch them up this weekend. Have fun, everyone. Thanks.
It's time for a big aloha from Hawaiian Dan.
Thanks, Tim. Aloha! I'm Hawaiian Dan of TalkFishTV.com, reporting for the Fisherman magazine here off the central north shore of Long Island, the inshore and nearshore region where I have to say there are tons of little tiny rain bait, white bait, and micro bait. There are also bunker in town, the adult-sized bunker, but that doesn't seem to be anything on them post-storm. It seems like it chased those big cows off, but there are plenty of schoolie stripers, as you can see, to catch. Plenty of fun. Plenty of reasons to get off those couches, grab those rods, and get out there and fish. Make sure you take those kids out there. Be safe, mask up, obey the rules, spread as much aloha as you possibly can. Until next week, this is Hawaiian Dan of TalkFishTV.com, reporting for the Fisherman magazine and signing out. I love you guys. Aloha.
With our offshore report, let's check in with Captain Tony Gatto.
Thanks, Tim. The offshore tuna fishing broke wide open last week. There have been many reports of large big eyes, yellowfin, marlin, and wahoo caught all along or off the edge in the warm waters. The 30-fathom bluefin tuna bite continues to be very strong, with a decent amount of yellowfins now mixed in. Shark fishing from 20 fathoms and in has been mostly dominated by thresher sharks. On Monday, I personally had a heartbreaker of a fish break off boat side after a 4-hour battle. The Montauk Canyon Challenge has seen many big eyes up to 300 pounds. Here's a picture of Danny Azzato, who was on a bunch of these. He was on the Gotta Go out of Star Island, and he caught a bunch of yellowfin as well. I spoke to Justin Braun over at Chattelors to see what colors have been hot. For the most part, the standard black and purple and sand eel remain to be strong, but over the past week, he mentioned that blue and white and all white have accounted for many of the big eyes and some of the larger bluefin that have been caught. Here is a picture of Jack Laurie with a 61-inch bluefin caught on a blue and white side tracker. Nice job, Jack. Be safe out there and have fun. Back to you, Tim.
I heard from Captain Matt of Neptune Charters. He went 5 for 5 on yellowfin out in the canyon and said the white and green side trackers produced the best. He also mentioned the big eyes seem to be in the deeper water. Now let's hear from the Fire Island area and the Great South Bay with Captain Al Lorenzetti.
Hey Tim, Fire Island report. Fluke fishing is excellent. I fished several days this past week. I had 20-25 fish each trip with 3 or 4 nice keepers. The big one so far has been 6.5 pounds. Today I had one 4.5 pounds. And not too many, trash fish. It's not really too many sea robins, so it's pretty pleasant. When you get a fish, it's generally going to be a fluke. And anywhere I fished from the inlet all the way back to Kismet, and one day I went down to Ocean Beach looking for a weakfish. That didn't happen, but I had a couple of fluke, but they were shorts down there. And so anyway, that's excellent. And if you're going offshore, tuna fish bite is fantastic. Bacardi area especially, some big bluefin. A friend of mine had fish to 65 inches, so that's a nice big fish. But that's the report this week, Tim. Weather looks great for the weekend. Take care.
Boating has become more popular during these trying times, and Kale's Family Boating Center is ready to get you out on the water. Check out a Sea Pro powered by Suzuki. Low rates make it the perfect time to buy. Visit kalesfamilyboating.com for more information. Let's get the latest from Jones Beach with Matt Bauer from Jones Beach Tackle.
Hey Tim, it's Matt Bauer with Jones Beach Bait and Tackle. There's been some pretty decent action around the Jones area lately. During the day, The best tide seems to be incoming water in the inlet, and there's been Spanish mackerel being caught on small spoons and short fluke being caught on the gulp 4-inch swimming mullet. And at nighttime, it seems like there's been a pretty solid bite around the piers. There's been stripers, bluefish, and even fluke being caught at night on bunker chunks and bass assassins. That's going to be all for today's report. Thank you, Tim. Back to
From River Bay Outfitters, we have Paul McCain.
Hello, Tim. Well, here I am out on the on the South Shore here, fishing for fluke. I got my boat out for the first time this year. I'm out here with my good friend Norm. He just landed a couple of nice fluke. It's been a really nice day. What I am seeing is I see a lot of bait in the back bays. A lot. Birds are diving on them. Being driven up by the snappers, those little snappers that in a month are going to be a lot of fun on a fly rod. Getting back to the freshwater, we did some freshwater. Dennis has been going up to the Housatonic, cashing in on the smallmouth fishing. That's been really good this year. The water's low. We do have another trip. And don't forget, we have a Zoom class this week called Trash or Treasure. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So check it out at 7 o'clock. Go on my website. The ID is right on the front page. So until next week, tight lines, everybody.
From Oceanside, we have James Ferchland.
Thanks, Tim. Fishing's been pretty good on the South Shore recently. There's been an abundance of wreck fish and bottom fish. Bottom fishing has been really good. Fluke fishing, sea bass fishing. I've heard of porgies around. And it's just using bucktails. Sea bass, big sea bass hit the bucktails. It's a great way to weed out smaller fish. They hit it every drop, and if you manage to get away from them, fluking is just as good. We went out one day trying to go offshore, and it's too rough, so we stayed in an inshore wreck, and we had 5 keepers to 6 pounds. The fluking was just great. All on a 2-ounce spro bucktail with gulp and strips of mackerel and bluefish. That seemed to work on different days. Different days they wanted strip bait, different days they wanted gulp. So definitely pack both when you're going fluking. We went shark fishing yesterday, and on the way in there were sharks and tuna jumping like crazy all over the boat. They were surrounding us for probably about a stretch for 2 miles, popping mackerel off the surface. There were makos, spinner sharks, bull sharks, everything. So we tried trolling for some of the tuna that we saw with deep diving plug, and we wound up hooking onto a 4 or 5 foot spinner shark. And when we brought him to the boat, there was probably a 600-pound bull shark chasing him up, and 2 other reef sharks. And that was a pretty good way to finish off the day, being that we had nothing on bait. But if we stayed out for another hour at our spot, the sharks eventually would have moved in because they started heading south. But the sharks that we saw busting were only about 10, 12 miles offshore. Otherwise, fishing's been pretty good. Tim, back to you.
Also from Oceanside, we have Captain Joey Leggio.
Hey Tim, what's going on? The report out of Debs Inlet is the bottom fishing is on fire. So much life out there and so much fish to catch. My 2 weekend trips, we loaded up on porgies, we had sea bass, and tons of fluke. All the fluke are very healthy, even the shorts. A nice, fat, juicy fish. You know, a lot of 17 to 18 inch fish, but there's plenty of keepers in there as well. Also going on in the ocean, I don't know if you saw Rich's video, Richie Von Olin from News 12. Crazy shark action, actual National Geographic style shark action, what's going on out there. We're talking thousands and thousands of either browns or black tips, not even sure what they are, but going ballistic on the bunker schools, jumping out of the water, full-blown blitzes. Really awesome stuff to see. Also in the mix is a lot of threshers out there. Guy next to me on this weekend, he had a nice thresher on right on AB Reef in the bunker schools. Also, while we were reeling in some of the porgies and sea bass, the brown sharks were coming up from underneath the boat at the fish, which is another pretty cool sight to see. Other news, in the bay, there's still some fluke in the bay. I believe an 8 1/4 was just weighed in at Bay Park Fishing Station. Nice fish for the bay, 8 1/4 pounds. Midsummer, it's pretty nice. That's basically it. Also, listen, the marine life too. A lot of people on the radio asking for the whales and the dolphins. There's plenty of whales, plenty of dolphins, and actually this morning there's a dolphin in my backyard right here in Oceanside just swimming around. Yep, you hear these guys yelling right now. They're looking at him right now. He's in front of my boat, just sitting in the dock. But that's basically what's going on. And I'll get back to you soon, Tim. Have a great day.
From the North Shore Huntington area, we have Captain Gage Simon.
Thanks, Tim. This week's fishing remains consistent here on the North Shore with a unique catch in the triangle. Angler Tony's nephew, Moses Kikura, landed this remora, aka shark sucker, who obviously showed up for Shark Week. Nice catch, Moses. The days are getting hotter and the blues are getting bigger here on the North Shore. On Friday, I headed out with Dan on our kayaks to Target Rock. This area is not so accessible by boat due to the large amount of protruding rocks in the area. There was so much bait fish in the water, we were marking some really nice fish. We had nonstop action, dropping bucktails dressed with spearing. We trolled red tubes with worms on the way to Target Rock, landing 24-inch schoolie bass and cocktail blues along the way. While we were at Target Rock, Captain Joe was fishing deeper waters east of us in the Long Island Sound, landing keeper fluke and gator blues. Early this week, I headed east with well-known fishing buddy Ken from Field and Stream to land the elusive triggerfish and some giant porgies. We were using super light tackle and clams for bait. We had such a blast. We are heading back there today when this video is released to catch tonight's dinner. Hit me up on social media if you want to kayak fish in your area. Remember to stay safe out there. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and I'll see you out on the water.
Let's check in with Chris Ludwig.
Hey, thanks, Tim. What's going on, guys? So this last week, I was throwing some big bunker chunks out in the open beach, and I was fishing my favorite slot, the last little bit of the incoming through the outgoing tide. And on one of these trips, we got a large bullnose ray, and this thing was incredible. It's my personal best size ray, and it was very hard to deal with, even getting it back in the water, but she did swim off safely. Following that, about 2 days later, and by the way, this is all about 20 miles east of Jones Inlet, my buddy Bobby and I, we were out fishing, and he had a mean shark on. We unfortunately dropped it, but he had the fish on for about 10 minutes, again in a large bunker chunk. And I'm going to say it was a dusky because there was somebody a few miles east of me that was catching duskies as well. Also, as far as bait goes, there's been mackerel around in the surf. When I was doing the overnights and hitting the sunrise, you could see the mackerel coming up in the shallows, almost in the wash, just chasing bait, and they like torpedo across the surface. So there's a lot of life out there. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, and I hope to see you out there. Take care.
From Sheepshead Bay, we have Luke Feeney.
To start, the fluking has been really solid, and I've been fishing at the Hempstead Reef and the McAllister Grounds to the east. Although this is a far ride from Jamaica Bay, the local fluking has really been very slow overall. I've been picking a few nicer fish along the Beach Channel Drive wall on the edge of the channel, but there have been very few shorts in the mix with not much life either. The Hempstead Reef and the McAllister Grounds is definitely the best shot right now, and there's been a very large body of fluke on the northeast corner of the Hempstead Reef as well as the McAllister Grounds. And I have found that the gulp sand eels have been the prime bait on the reef to target both smaller and larger fish. I've been fishing these on a very simple high-low dropper loop rig, since the reef is definitely a place where you will surely lose a few rigs. When the drift has been slow, I've been using a single bucktail with a sand eel on it and casting it out while working it back to the boat nice and slow, and I've been catching many nice fish in this way also. In addition, the fluking has been decent in the New York Harbor by the 28 buoy on the channel side in the deeper water, along with various drops and edges inside the Stapleton anchorage on the Staten Island side. As the ocean reef fluking starts, this is my favorite place to fish since it has good action as well as a chance at a larger fish in the mix. The porgy bite has also been solid on the Atlantic Beach Reef as well as the Rockaway Reef and the Tin Can Grounds by the jetty. There have been very large porgies in the mix, and the clam isn't working best. It's very simple fishing, and I like to just search around the rocky bottom where I know there's fish until I see solid readings on the bottom. I try and anchor on those readings to build the life, although I sometimes drift. I like a piece of bottom to the north of the shoal buoy by the jetty, and it seems to produce many large fish at times. And the bass bite in the marsh has also been getting better as the water starts to get warmer, and I'm using small top waters to target those schoolie bass. That's it for this week, and be sure to get out there when you can.
Captain Mike Sentry has the latest from Staten Island.
Thanks, Tim and Fred. This week's fishing report has been glowing red hot. First off, the Raritan Bay has exploded with jumbo porgies. Folks are using fresh clams and are getting it done. Remember, cut your clams into small pieces, make sure they're fresh, and use the appropriate size hook for these porgies. Captain Paul Cameron on the fluke bite has some really good quality flukes caught with the old and true method of squid and live kellies. Captain Paul Cameron also landed a big northern stargazer with his team. Aaron Baldwin has been doing very well with ocean fluke, working the edges and the lumps. Brian Searoff is at it again. This guy is a wizard of striped bass for summertime fishing. Fishing for resident striped bass, Brian has extensive knowledge on summertime bass. He was using bunker chunks. On the Offshore Bite, The Adventures of Stan, starring Nate, Robbie, and Mike. These folks from Hardfin Offshore Tackle are doing very well with the bluefin and yellowfin bite in 1,200 feet of water. Here are some of their pictures, and they're using their patented pending spreader bars from Hardfin Offshore Tackle. Folks, I know it's hot, it's muggy, it's humid. You can't ask for these better dog days of summer. But if you wear the right gear, if you wear the right attire, you would have success. Stay hydrated, folks. Tight lines, Captain Mike Century.
Steigercraft builds boats by the same people that fish our waters. That's why serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you. If you'd like to be part of our weekly video fishing forecast, we're looking for social media savvy anglers for hyperlocal reporting from around the New York Metro and Long Island area. So if you're a captain, tackle shop, or just an avid angler, contact me at libayrat@gmail.com. Remember, like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Kayak Clash contest. Check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and more information. And please support our correspondents by visiting their websites and social media pages. Looks like another great weekend to get out there and fish. See you next Thursday right here at thefisherman.com.